Hello there and welcome to the Finnish countryside. After being now over 1 year here in Finland, I thought it would be a good time to ask if we would still choose Finland from all the countries which we have for option. As someone with quite bad traumas from the very dark pandemic years in Central Europe, yes, definitely. As a parent, searching for a better life for the kids? Yes, probably. As an entrepreneur, searching more possibilities and more chances for the company? Definitely not. As someone searching more peace and quiet, more mind your own business, minded people around you? Definitely yes. As someone searching generally new challenges and new things to do? Yes. As someone searching more nature, more silence and mindfulness? Definitely yes. As someone searching more possibilities and power to influence their own life? Definitely yes. As someone searching generally a better life? I would say yes. If you haven't been here before, my name is Herta, and last year we, meaning me, my husband and our 2 kids, made a really big, a really scary change in our lives and left Austria and moved to Finland. Now I thought it would be a good idea to look back, to ask this question if we would still choose Finland, or are we maybe not that happy with our choice? Those who have been here longer probably know the answer, but those who haven't, let's make a check. One of the most important thing, or maybe even the most important thing for us, was that we found a place where the people let us to live our life so how we like it at most, and they don't have to leave us completely alone, but at least that they don't want to force you to anything. And it's impossible to explain for a Finn what happened in Central Europe during the last couple of years and how was it. But for us, it was just such a huge turning point, a point where we realized how much crap there is going on and how quickly the people just lose their minds and become really, really weird. I mean, a Finn would never understand how is it when a police officer is guarding that you are not going outside, or when the schools are closed for months and everybody is just thinking that it's all normal. And so that's why it is a bit difficult for some people to understand why we needed to get this far away from bigger cities. And it's, of course, like I said already 1 year ago, it's of course not only that what happened during the last years, it's all this what is happening and what is planned. And it just sometimes I entertain myself and read all the stuff what the politicians are doing and so on, and I'm just like shaking my head and thinking like, oh my god, have fun with all of that, because here you don't have to care anymore. And a small compare, Berlin has an area of 890 square kilometers. There are 3.7 million people living there, and the population density is 4,210 inhabitants per 1 square kilometer. The city where we live at the moment has an area of 1,800 square kilometers and 12.3 inhabitants per 1 square kilometer. So, and especially, of course, we live here in the countryside where there are not that many houses. However, it's a huge difference. However, Finns are actually very, very state safe as well. But luckily, at least here in the countryside, we have found already people who are thinking more like we do, people with whom you can trade, and people who definitely mind their own businesses and don't want to force you to anything like many people want to do. Unfortunately, most of the Finns are, of course, like that, do want to force you to something, but at least we are far away from all the cities where the problems come at first. You know the sentence? Things have to get really worse before it can get better again. Well, it's better to be here when the things start to get like really bad. Then, for the kids, Finland has truly been amazing. They're really, really good. I have already made a video about the school. I think the Finnish school is great and it definitely allows a bit more individuality and learn the kids to be more independent and take more responsibility. But it's definitely not all good in the hood here. The cell phone culture is just terrible, and the parents are complaining how the kids spend too much time on screens, or that younger kids have some weird WhatsApp groups or some other apps or whatsoever. And I'm like, hello, it's your kid, isn't it? But otherwise, Finland is a very, very safe country. At least here in the countryside, you don't have to be afraid of anything except of the bears. In the cities, the situation is of course not that friendly anymore, but here you certainly can let your kids go alone just everywhere, and you can leave your bike somewhere and no one is going to steal it. It's also nice that here are not only not drug dealers or so in the forests, but also no toxic spiders or something like that. Like it would be when you would be somewhere, I don't know, Australia. It's just only the bears, but our kids can luckily make a good noise. Then, as an entrepreneur, Finland is definitely not a good choice. The taxes are high, the bureaucracy is slow and complicated, and there is just this huge socialistic basic thought everywhere, which makes everything hard. Starting from hiring a person to your company. There are people who just leave Finland because of this, because they want to develop their company, but it's made maybe not impossible, but very hard. And then there are others who work until they have earned like 100,000 euros and then chill on their summer cottage and enjoy their hobbies for the rest of the year, because why should you work if you have to give so much away? Especially when you see for what the tax money is. But what's definitely possible in Finland? Peace and quiet with mind your own business people around you. Like I already said, here in the countryside, no one is coming to you, trying to force you to live like he wants you to live. You actually don't even see anyone if you don't want to. Even in a bigger city like Turku, you could walk hours in the forest and didn't see anyone. And here it wouldn't be hours. I think it would be weeks what you could walk there and wouldn't see anyone. Here is just so much space that if you want to enjoy the peace and silence, it's not difficult. what's also not difficult at all, trying new things, making new challenges. Here in the north are just so many other things to do than in Central Europe. I mean, you can also, for example, collect mushrooms there, but only on certain days and only so and so much. In Tyrol, you could, of course, collect mountaintops, or so here you can, for example, swim every day of the year. I'm just meaning that even if the Nordics are often seen as countries where you have to spend most of the time inside of the house, there are still very many different kind of things to do here. And from there we then come to the Finnish nature. It's just unbelievable beautiful. That's something I've said already very often, but maybe not often enough. I have noticed that many Finns see it and are grateful for that, but then once again I think there are maybe as much Finns who don't really see it. Here in the north, doesn't matter if Finland, Sweden or Norway, the nature is just so amazing, and especially because there is still so much untouched nature, like the mountains in Tyrol. So for a nature lover, Finland is an absolute tip-top. Even the bigger cities have so much nature. So if I would like to influence my own life and be able to do more things by myself, not being that dependent on others, Finland is definitely a good choice. Because the house prices are also so low that you really can afford a real farm, buy animals and do everything by yourself if you want to. And like I said, in the countryside you often find more people thinking like you do, with whom you can then change things. So the end question is, would we still choose Finland for a generally better life? And the answer is yes, I think so, because here you can definitely do more things to affect your life, your own happiness, and do more things where you don't have to care about those stupid people doing stupid things. But like I said, there is so much freaky stuff going on, and I can only laugh because, for example, I'm sure that no one is going to expropriate me. Of course, they can do it, but no one is going here and saying to me that I have to leave this house because it's just worthless for them. I mean, if I would own something in a bigger city, the situation would be another. And there are, of course, some really disturbing things in Finland as well, like the health system. But no country is perfect. And all in all, we are very satisfied with our choice. The seasons haven't been bad at all, quite the opposite actually. The people are very nice, and now as we are in the countryside, we truly have our peace here and can just shake our shoulders for all that craziness going on, because it doesn't affect us anymore. I hope you liked the video, and maybe someone who has been having Finland as an option to move into got some new views or some new ideas for some things. And you just have to weigh everything up, what is important for you and what can you have somewhere and what not. And like I already said, our answer is still yes, we would still choose Finland from all the countries which we have for option. If you want to see more how it's living here in the Finnish countryside, then Instagram is the place for that. Otherwise, I wish everyone a nice weekend, and maybe we'll see us in the next video. Bye bye!